Hello, all, and welcome to today's live trading session. And let's see what's important we have here. As I've told you yesterday, that yesterday was very important, and we have to see how the market has indeed behaved. Now, on one side, you can see that the Dow Jones has started moving higher, where the Nasdaq is consolidating. We can't say that it is moving down. It is just a minor correction because if you are looking at yesterday's chart, even the Nasdaq has recovered quite superbly. Let's go and see the last 5 years. So as you can see from the lows of 15,000, it jumped quite sharply towards 15,600. Now we can see this is a mere consolidation. Now what's the fun fact over here? This one. And European Central Bank cuts bond buying but pledges further stimulus. So they are in a different mode, and they have already started doing their interest rate hike. So what we have here are US stocks rose slightly in the early trading. Thursday trading, the Federal Reserve signaled it would be aggressive on tapering and sees three interest rate hike in 2022. Now the Dow Jones has climbed up after that, and Thursday's moves come a day after stock rallies in the previous session as the Federal Reserve announced a more aggressive plan to wind down its asset purchase and hike rates in 2022. So you have all these things which are going on as far as the trend is concerned, and meanwhile stocks are performing quite well. Now this is not only the stocks, but if you are looking at the yield has started falling over here. You are looking at the oil is moving up. You are looking at the gold and silver, they are also moving up. So what's actually going down are bond and, quite surprisingly, the dollar index. So if you may see the price chart of dollar index, what you can probably observe here is instead of going up, the dollar index has crashed from the highs of 96.91 to as low as 95.86. So there is a 1% fall as far as the dollar index is concerned. So this is the reason why you have seen the spurt in the overall market, because simply to understand things, if the dollar index is going down, you have the equity market which will do its part, and you will see big price action on the upside as far as the equity market is concerned. So right now what you can see as far as the dollar index is concerned, on the upside you have 96.91, or let's say I think 96.95 on the upside. This is the range we have here on the upside, and as far as the downside is concerned, we have 95.5, right? So this is what we have here as far as the trend is concerned. Now looking at the price action, what we have here are simply like this. Now you have seen how Dow Jones has started moving. Now do not, so as you can see, there is a breakout. There is literally a breakout that has happened even in yesterday's trading session, and the index has started moving higher, and this is quite a swift move, I would say, right? Because if you are looking at the trend, which looks something like this, so this is the chart of Dow Jones, and if you are looking at the price chart of Dow Jones, so this is what we have here, right? So this is what we have here as far as the trend is concerned. So the index has indeed started moving higher, and because Dow Jones has already crossed 36,000, so the next target or the next range that we're going to look at is in between 37,000 and 37,250. So this is what we are going to look at. Good morning, Neha. Hello, Ansi. How are you? So this is what we look at as far as the trend is concerned. Whereas when you are talking about Nasdaq, so if you are looking at the Nasdaq, now Nasdaq is not actually moving down. It is just consolidating. As you can see, it is still trading within the range, right? And the fall we have seen in the last 2 days is has been absorbed by the market, and right now, as you can see, things have started moving up. Things are indeed started moving up, and the range we have here right now is in between. So let me show it to you. So what is your range? So for Nasdaq, so there is a double bottom kind of formation which you can see on your screen, and the range we have here is something like this, right? So this is the lower end of the range. So this is what we have here as far as the range is concerned. So if Nasdaq started trading above, I would say 15,650 or 660 to be specific, then it will probably go towards 16,400 and 16,650. So this is what we have here as far as the trend is concerned. Now the bigger question is why this thing happening? Now the Fed irrespective of going with the slow move, they have already been aggressive so as far as the current situation is concerned. Now you can see the similar kind of move from the European Union as well, or European Bank, European Central Bank. But they are continue with their stimulus. That's one thing that keeps them apart from, that keeps them different from the U.S. Federal Bank or U.S. Central Bank. But the thing is, somewhere there, I think there is a disconnect. You may not find this thing anywhere, but I think there is some sort of disconnect between the market and the central bank. Otherwise, it is not possible that you will have your aggressive policy and the yields are not moving. As you can see, if you can see the yields, 3 month, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, everything is down, and only the long term yield, which is the 30-year yield, it is hardly up. So you cannot have this kind of price action, and more so over the dollar index is moving down, which means there is an indication, and this the similar thing has indeed happened in the past. If you specifically remember 2003 to 2007 bull run, when the US Central Bank has talked about this rate hike, I think in the year 2003, then we have seen a relentlessly big run as far as the trend is concerned, or as far as the big range is concerned, right? So probably this is similar things will going to happen this time as well, because sectors do change, name do change, but there are certain fundamentals which will remain the same as far as the trend or the range is concerned. So probably what you're gonna see is the similar kind of price action going forward. So there is a disconnect, and that's why we can probably see that the market is not going to work in the same way as everybody has thought. Right now, if you are looking at the price or trends, the top gainer we have here is Auto, and I think it has moved back after a very long session, because if you are looking at the overall chart, what you can see is a sharp downtick. Okay, this stock has indeed punished lots of investors, and people has literally down and out as far as this stock as well as the range is concerned. So what we have here is this range, right? Right now you will again see a spurt on the upside, but for the timing it is just a trading momentum. And if you're looking at the range, so we have 1.15 on the downside, and for the time being the upper end of the range is capped, and it is in between 2.2 and 2.6. If the stock sustains above 2.6, then there is a probability of 3.8 or further on the upside. But right now this is the trend we have here as far as the price chart of Action is concerned. Now there are a lot of recovery, and I hope there will not be big gainers, big losers, beg your pardon. So let's check out the loser section, and this one is falling with big momentum of 8 nearly 8 9 million 9 million shares BAKKT holdings. So here we are. So if you are looking at this stock has almost lost each and everything. Now this is where you can be, or you have to be very much observative about the trend, because in this kind of stock the risk may move up immensely higher, and the moves are very serious because it can be 20, 30, 40%. We are not satisfied when any stock move by 50 or 100% in a single day, but 20 or 30% loss in a single day could hurt us in a big way. So what we have here are three important levels, most specifically two, because 9.86 is your next support and 8.19 or 8.2 will be your stop loss. So below 8.2 one should not hold any trend or move on the downside, right? And right now the section which one should look at is obviously the 52-week high section, and if you want to pick and choose stocks from here, so it would be much better if you look at this section, because these stocks are the old economy stocks are doing pretty well. Even if you're talking about Coca-Cola, although it is online, but this is like a brick and mortar kind of business in the past, and then things have changed. But if you are looking at the long-term story of Coca-Cola, which has, I would say, has changed the destiny of even Mr. Warren Buffett. So he's one of those holders, and why not? Because if you're holding it for the last 40 years, the stock has given 9,000% worth of return. But this does not include the dividends, and meanwhile with this 9,000% worth of return, you have 1 2 3 4 5 splits. Anywhere your stock has doubled already 5 times, even with the 9,000% worth of return. If you are looking at this particular chart, there are huge amount of wealth that is here to be made, and this is just the start. Let me tell you, this is just the start, and do not underestimate the power of these businesses. They are there in the past, they are here in the present, and they will probably be there in the future as well, as far as we believe in this product. So If you are looking at Coca-Cola, obviously this is a very slow moving stock, but these are quite powerful moves that you can see. So what we have here is your big target, which is in between 160 and $200 in the upcoming months and years in this particular chart. Show and see. You asked about plug power. So plug power is currently looking down and it is trading in between a range right now. So there are multiple levels each if you are looking at plug power right now. This is your support, and moreover this is trading in between a range you have here, right? So what's the range over here is 29.13, your immediate support. Then you have 24 as your next support. If it, or only if it sustains above 29.13, you have 34.5, then 35.56 or 30.6, 35.6 above which, or only if the stock sustain above 35.6, you have $46 on the upside. Okay, so I think I have solved your query. Understand this. Now, so just a message so that you don't miss this line, right? This is a very important message. If you just listen this line, I think you are ready to go for the next 2 years. If you want to look in the market, observe what is working right now. And if you watch carefully, you will see names which are from technology sectors, right? Which are directly, indirectly correlated with technology. In biotech, you may include biotech as well, but if I name the front runners, whether you're talking about Amazon or Apple, because these are technology driven business, or pure technology, or anything like Qualcomm, you're talking about Microsoft, you're talking about Infosys, so this guy you're talking about Accenture. So this kind of stocks, they are, or you're talking about the Cognizant. This is where you can make money. This is what is running in the market over a period of time. Observe the trend and you will definitely get something out of it. You need not to be a rocket scientist for that. But if you observe what is working in the market, you will definitely see some very important things that are happening in the market, and this is just a simple observation. So for the next 2 years, this is what is going to run as far as the market is concerned. And what's the proof for it? You can go and check any stock and how they have moved. They are probably trading at their lifetime high, and this is not a joke. Okay, so any company which we are looking at is actually trading at its lifetime high. So what we have here, so this is the chart of Cisco. If I may analyze this chart as well, so what we have here, beg your pardon. So what you have here is your big support, as you can see. So this is the big support we have here, and the next target is the high that you have made in the year 2000 before the Y2K crash, or TMT crash as we said. So 82 or $83. So this is going to be your next target, and beyond that you will definitely have some very big moves going forward. right? So what we have here beyond $83 on the upside is a target which will move the needle towards $500. So there will be some very big moves if you just observe things carefully. Let's talk about Accenture. I can give you X, Y, Z any example, and let me tell you, even though I haven't checked the thousand of companies which is there in the sector, but this is a truth, and it is very much because this is where your experience comes into the picture. We understand things, we know how the trend moves, and we do know which one to look at as far as the long term trend in the markets are concerned. So this is what we are going to look at, right? So this is what we have here as far as the trend is concerned. And let me tell you, as far as the chart of Accenture, you can see a long term breakout beyond 370 to $70. So the momentum has completely shifted, and this stock over a period of last 18 or 20 years have given you 3,400% worth of return, and these are some steady returns that you have gained. So you have spent time doing lots of things, and if you don't do some simple thing and simply carry on with that trade, then okay, I think Kobiel Brands is one which I have done in the past. So this is one of the movers in the past. Yeah. So let's see what's happening. It has moved quite sharply in the past from $44 to as low as 97 cents. I mean, this is quite a fall we have. Right now, what you have right now are these two or three levels on the downside. If the stock sustains above these two levels, then only look for some uptrending moves or momentum on the upside, else there will be a problem. So 88 cents is your immediate support, and 75 cents is going to be your stop loss. So right now the stock is sustaining, so we can expect some sort of up moves from this level, and if it falls below 76 cents, or let's say if it falls even below 85 cents, 88 or 85 cents, better not to look at this particular trend right now, right? But because it is sustaining, you can expect some sort of trending move on the upside. So this is what we have here as far as the trend is concerned. What else do we have here? Let's go and check the website if there is something which is happening very specific in the market. Yeah, and as I told you, Nasdaq is not at all down and out. Yeah, I forgot one stock, and this one, Tesla. Although it's look a bit on the downside, it has actually started moving higher, but right now the selling by the CEO itself is putting lots of pressure on the stock. Hopefully he is done with his selling, if not more, because the stock is trading very near to its 200 moving average if you are looking at the short term chart. So hopefully this will hold over here, else we will have our next support at $827, right? But this is not looking down and out. This is just in between a range what we have here right now, as you can see, and 820, 830 is your good buying zone. And on the upside, what you can see is a swing in between 1330 and 1380, right? Yeah, welcome. What else we have here? Most active section. where we can see, so you have 47 million for Apple, then you have Ford, then we have AT&T. AT&T is moving today. So if you are looking at the price chart of AT&T, let's see what is happening over here. So I think it has gone down a lot. Oh, yeah. And yeah, AT&T looks good. I mean, the kind of dividend they are giving is phenomenal. Even, you know, that's what if you are holding this stock from the lows of 1984, and how much profit you are, only 400%, because you are not counting on this humongous amount of dividend that the stock has already given, and there are two or three split, and from the highs of I think 1999 or 2000. And this is one of those companies, if you're talking about AT&T, which will probably revive. So the time has probably come here for this particular stock or for this particular sector, as I've already told you. And this is trading towards the lower end of the range. So what we have here is 22.46 on the downside, then you have $20, and you have your big support at $18. But if you are looking at the long chart, it is holding very near to its long term support. So if there is any big move, this is the right time to look at this particular trend. So here we are. Okay. Let's see. So let me see how things look like right now. Okay. So I think there are some typo, that's why it was not coming. So it is Lemonade INC. So let's see how the chart of Lemonade INC is looking like. No, I don't want to go further because this chart is rubbish. This is a really rubbish chart. I don't want to go further into that. You can't get anything out of it, right? And then you have affirm. So let's see affirm holding. Okay. Um, if you have any specific reason for choosing this kind of stock, this is up to you. But we have very limited amount of data over here, and the swings are quite high. So if you're looking at this trend, what we have here is something like this. If the stock sustains above 96.27, you will have an up move. But the better buying zone you have here is 77.5. If it either sustains above 77 or 78 and 96.27, the next target that we're gonna look at here will be 176. This is what we have here, but it looks like correction is not yet completed and it will take some more time. So if it holds above 96, then it is fine. Otherwise 77 or 78 could be a better buying zone, right? So this is what we have here as far as the trends are concerned. Let's go and see So Lucid Group is again making some moves. Now, I mean, we don't have a very specific trend about this stock, and this stock against back in favor because this is one of those stocks which is always comes in the radar because of high or volatile moves we have as far as the trend is concerned. So if you are looking at the trend of Lucid Group, you can see that there are still some corrections which one should look at, and you should probably wait for some more time because the better buying opportunity we have here is near 32 bucks, right? And then we should look at an upside range. So wait for the next support that will give you a better buying opportunity, right? So this is what we have here. Then let's see what we have apart from this, because I think Dow Jones is sustaining its move. Dow Jones is indeed sustaining its move, yes it is. And most importantly, we have the dollar index, which is it working for us? No, it has again started moving higher. So we have to see. Now today's trading session is a benchmark session. Why? Because things have started moving abnormally. This is not the way uh, things should move, more specifically the currency of that particular country. But there are some disconnect because this is not the US of 1980s or 90s where you can have a strong currency and you can enjoy the happiness. That's not going to happen this time. So we have to see whether they can keep up with their promises or not next year. And if and when the market sense that it's not going to happen or there are difficulties in that, you can see moves accordingly. Probably that's going to be good for the market, but it's not going to be good for the currency. Now this is this is this is the one thing which I want everybody to look at because this is a short-term yield. This is a 2-year yield, and this will give you an indication whether the risk is moving up or not. And if there is a fall here, which looks like a case as of now, yeah. So this is a case where you can see that the 2 years yield is looking bearish, and if this is the case, you see here, then the stock market is definitely going to react in a much positive way. So what we have here is this one. So it is clearly visible that the 2 years treasury yield is going towards zero point 0.5 from it's trading nearly 0.63. So the next support we have here is 0.5. So these are a couple of things that we're going to look at as far as the trends are concerned. If you have any further questions to ask me, I will wait for a couple of more things. Meanwhile, we will look rest of the things. Okay, so here we are. So here we are, right? What we have Here, let me just quickly scroll down this one. Now, it's a common sense if you may apply and just think what could probably work. At one side, you can see that the commodities pricing are soaring up, and then you will see the technology stocks are going up. So everything has a cost. So if you just spend some of your time, uh, let me show you the chart of silver. So this is silver futures commodity. Now, if you're looking at the price chart of silver, what you can have here are very big swings. Okay, because the price chart of silver is indeed showing that it is trading near its important low, and if there is a move from the downside, you can see the commodities again started trading higher. Now, let me tell you one thing. Gold is not an industrial metal or industrial commodity, but silver does. So, increase in the price of silver could move various things, various goods which are used in different industries or sectors, push their price on the higher side. So, this is just a hint that if you can observe or if you just understand how silver is going to move in the upcoming sessions, it's probably going to work out very good for you. There are lots of sectors which are using silver as a commodity, as a service in terms of money. So, if the price of silver is going to move on the upside, you will see lots of goods and services are going to make much more than that. So, this is one of the ways with which you can see how things are moving up. Now, let's see some of the gainers. Okay, so here we come again. The biotech companies, the therapeutics, they are making the moves. And as you can see, if I am not wrong, I have done this chart obviously, and the move is saying that a breakdown has happened. Then the stock made a low, and right now it is trying to bounce back. So the current range for uh, Adagio or Adagio Therapeutics, ADAGIO, it is trading in between 5.66 and 17.5. Only if the stock sustains started trading above 17.5 of 30.6, you can see the previous high of $58. Right now, this is the range in between which it has started trading, but the move is quite sharp. I mean, 65%. Kidding? Seriously kidding with me? 65%, and this is somewhere just evolve in front of the screen with a staggering volume of 30 or 39 or 40 million shares. Then you have Caladitas. Caladitas Therapeutics. This has also moved quite sharply with 4.5 million shares. So, if you are looking at the chart, at least there are some history. Okay, it's not enough, but still there are some history we have here. So, what we have here? So, what we have here is simply the level of 23.41. If the stock sustains above that, you have some higher levels, but you need to understand that these kind of stocks are very volatile. It can move on both the ways. So how do you deal with the volatility? That should be a plan of action you have to work out before entering into the trade. If you at least have a plan, you can manage that position. Either you'll go right or wrong, that you can evolve, that you can work on, but for that you must have a plan on it. Okay, so I think Lim, you can buy silver. I mean, if you have the excess of commodity, because or if your trader gives you the commodity access through your trading platform, that's fine. Otherwise, you can directly buy silver or silver coins, okay, from the shop, which will give you the surety that it's real. You can buy the bars as well, okay, silver or gold bars. Lem, I don't recommend stocks. I don't give recommendation and or suggestions because I'm not authorized for that. So that's the first thing. And there are lots of stocks. Okay, there are lots of industrial stocks which can use. So you can simply search that key term. The question you have asked me, you can simply search it out on Google and you will find the goods or the industrial products where you can use silver. But there are lots of products uh, which are using silver as their as a direct or indirect raw material. You can search this thing. So which stock has a direct impact? Well, probably the sector is directly related with the mining sector, right? Or the stocks which are mining stocks and they mine silver. So they are going to get the most benefit out of it. And then will come the products where they are supplying. But this is not a silver is a commodity, so this is not going to move uh, in a very sharp way, which you can see as far as the stocks are concerned. So I talked about the trend. Whether it will be so the trend is indicating um, some support and the long term chart is up. So buying that or not is a decision that you have to take. As I told you, I am not the authorized person for that. But yeah, trend looks good as of now. So the next one we have here is ASXE. The next is surgical. Okay, this is one of those stocks which have been in the flavor in the past months. I can specifically remember this stock because the kind of move that the stock has shown in the past is quite staggering. 2000% worth of return. It is trading at a very important level, so the recent low can be your big support. So consider this as your stop loss. So right now, the range we have here for Incensus Surgical is $1 as your stop loss and 1.38 as your next target. And if it started trading above 1.38 or 1.4, then we will look for some more upside, right? So this is what we have here as far as the new or current trend or range is concerned. Right now, what we can see in the market is a very timid, or I would say the move which you cannot rely on. That's for sure, because Nasdaq has now started correcting, and Dow Jones has shaved off from some of its gains. And I have said this thing for the last 1 week, and I will say it again. Stay with the big names. Don't try to sell the overall market. And you can see it is clearly visible that the moves from there is a complete disconnect between the policy and the market, and somewhere they are going to meet, and somewhere you will find that they are going to share the same tune. So till then you have to be very specific about the things which you are choosing. So these kind of daily day trading moves are fine, but if you are a day trader, you can move out with this 10% or 100% worth of move. But this is not a game which you can play and win on daily basis. So you have to be specific with what you are buying, when you are buying, how much you are buying, the time limit you have here, and what you are expecting out of it, right? So be very specific about the things, and we will, when trends will evolve, we'll definitely share that thing with you. But for the time being, be very specific with the trend and do not jump in to the market right now. Let's go and check. I think I forgot to check one very important thing, and that is the volatility index. Now the volatility index is showing 19.43. It is not a small number right now. So if it started falling below 15, then we can say something good about it. Right now it is still higher, but if the trend is on the downside, then we can say that the stability will come back into the market. But we have to see how dollar index has is moving, and how the yields have been moving, because if you are looking at the short term chart, you can see the movement on the upside, and simultaneously you can see the stock market moving on the downside. So there is a direct and very high correlation as far as the market or the trends are concerned. So for the time being, I think I should end my session with this word, that be very specific about the trend and let it just pass by you. If you want to look at stocks, so choose your stocks, then observe for at least one week or more, so that you can understand how things are moving. Then you can probably go and watch your trend. Okay, so right now this is not the time where you can do your momentum trades. Momentum trades are not going to work, or swing trades are not going to work, where you can buy and hold that stock for the next 1.5 month or 3 month, and sell it out with a good amount of profit. This is not the time to do something like this. Meanwhile, so I mean, if you are looking at the volatility index, it is, see, the thing is, a VIX is basically a volatility index which will indicate the volatility of the market, and it simply moves between a range. So let's say if the VIX today currently trading at 19%, 90, so that 19 that 19 indicates that the volatility in that particular year will be on both the sides. So it can, or let's say the index, if you're talking about index, so the market or the index can specifically move 19% either on the upside or on the downside. Now, yeah, obviously, less number means less volatility. Okay, so that's why we can call it as a um, volatility index, and less volatility means more stability, less flexibility, and generally the stock as well as the overall equity market moves on the upside, right? That's why people want less volatility, so that they can play in the market. But good volatility, high volatility is also good if you know how to handle your trades, or how to handle the volatility. So for the time being, this is the end of today's session. Do share your thoughts, and I would definitely request you to share my channel as well as the link of this channel, or the videos that I have been creating. Hopefully, that will help you, and I have already helped you in the past as well. And if you share it with the big community, then it's going to help me to share my knowledge or my experience to a large number of people, right? So this is the end of the session. Do join me, I think, tomorrow, uh, or yeah. So this today is so we have one more trading session. So do join me for the weekend session, and we'll see how the market is shaping up, because times are very interesting. And if you have any queries, do join me. We will try to solve as many queries as we can. And beyond that, if I can help you, so I would be very grateful for that. So this is the end of the session. And okay, I have one more question before I just move out. So NC, she's asking how to plan an exit when you are in a loss. Now this is a very simple thing to do, NC, because I have been telling this in each of my video that the most important thing we have here is to understand the support or the stop loss. If I believe that below this level, either in terms of percentage or in terms of level. Now, for a long term trade, if the stock falls more than 20%, it enters into a bear territory. So, that should be an alarming bell. Or if you know how to understand a read chart, then below a particular level, which you may call it as your big support or stop loss, don't go below that level, and don't try to hold any position below that level. So that's the simple clarification for that. So this is the end of this session, and we will see you all tomorrow. So thank you for joining today's session, and good day.